Hello and welcome to Cold Ones, where we crack them open. Today I'm here with Colin and we're going to be talking about usernames. So why don't you go ahead and take it away, Colin?
Yeah, well, before we get started, I do have a quick public service PSA.
Oh, yeah, these are yours, aren't they?
Yeah. Called, Have you seen my gray hat? Have you seen my gray hat? So, that's that.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
If you've seen his gray hat, call the number at the bottom of the screen.
I feel like I've asked everybody, but I don't believe them. It's not that I'm saying they're liars or anything, but just maybe the light isn't hitting it or something. So
if it's any like
once it's back in the visible spectrum.
If it's any consolation, I own a gray hat, but you can't have it. So.
All right. Well, it is consolation. So, all right. Anyways, usernames. Right.
So I guess we'll start. What's your username?
My username. We'll start from the genesis of it. When I was like 12, a kid in my neighborhood called me a microwave when we were playing
Not very
ball.
Nice.
But I was like, hey, I like that, so I just latched onto it. He only called me that once. Wasn't even that significant, but I'm like, that's it. So I started going by. Once I made micro my RuneScape username, that's what cemented it, and I've used that ever since. I've spelled it differently, so I don't have to use like numbers and stuff. But like it's pretty much I can just get that in anything. So yeah.
That's funny because like I went through a whole litany of RuneScape names before I landed on the username I use today, and it wasn't until I quit playing RuneScape that I actually got my username. It was almost as if RuneScape was a barrier for me. So it's weird that RuneScape was like really cemented it in for you, whereas RuneScape like kept me from having the username I really wanted for a long time.
That factors into it for a lot of people, RuneScape does.
Well, I heard the dude who's like the best guy on RuneScape, I think his name is Zizima or something like that.
He's still number one.
Yeah, he's still number one, Zizima. But
Big ups to that guy.
I saw an interview with him one time where he was talking about username, where they asked him about usernames, and he said that if RuneScape would not have let him make his username what it is, Zizima123 or whatever it is, he wouldn't have played at all.
Wow.
So it was only by chance that he played RuneScape instead of like World of Warcraft and was as good as he was. It was all, and then he made his whole career off of it, so it's kind of worked out for him really well.
Yeah, we talked about him a lot in 7th grade, and we were pretty sure that our computer teacher was Zizima, and we were like always looking for the secrets.
He might have been.
The cracks in the facade. Yeah.
Right. Digitized breakdown.
Yeah.
Well, my username since I got onto Xbox Original was L Squam, E-L, and then no hyphen, just a space, S-Q-U-A-M. And then shortly after that, it took off within like my friend group to start calling me that. So that just became my actual like real life username, which I guess is just a name. So people started calling me that all the time. And then that's basically what I use for everything. Obviously like professional stuff, I just use like my full name. But my username is pretty consistent across like all boards.
Oh, okay, I was gonna ask because you don't have like different usernames for different types of things,
except
professional stuff.
Yeah, if it's professional, then I use either SSCOURFI, which is just the Kent thing, or if I'm doing like certain other things, I'll just use that. Yeah. But then if it's meant to go out to the world, like oh my gosh, here's like a thing, I revert to L Squam because it's easier. And it's fun, it's easy, no one ever takes it, and then kind of keeps me hidden too. Like I did one time, like you can search your name on the internet and it'll come back with what people know about you from the internet. And if you look up my actual name, like almost nothing comes up. But if you look up my fake name, like obviously all my stuff comes up. So it's kind of worked too as a barrier for like, keeping people out of my private life. So.
Yeah, it's a good reason for going with different things too.
Yeah.
And I sort of have like some different types of names that I will use, but my main one is the micro. I think of that, I came up with like 3 separate kinds of names.
Like branches of micro is the trunk, and then you have
so like micro
endings.
Is my handle. I use that for video games and just like stuff.
And it's just micro, M-I-C?
Well, I spell it differently.
Okay.
Yeah. just so I can, have the no
Freedom.
numbers privilege.
No numbers. Yeah, that's another thing. We're gonna read some fan mail here in a moment, and numbers is a hot button issue, whether numbers are good or not. And just while we're at it, I'm against numbers. Never been a numbers guy, and in fact, if I have to use a number, I will do anything in my power to not have to use a number. But
I'm sort personally against numbers. Because I think if you have to use numbers, it's like
unoriginal.
you have to.
Yeah.
If I would always choose not to.
Anytime I see numbers, I assume
somebody else has that name.
Yeah, I assume the person already has that number or already has that username. Or if you use numbers, I assume that you didn't really want to, but that the website made you. So it's kind of like numbers are lame.
But yeah, I do have a sort of a pen name, which is what I use on Twitter.
Oh, okay. What's that one?
That one's Sci-Hypo. It's just like a video game reference,
okay.
so there's not a lot of depth to it.
What game?
From System Shock and Prey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And then I have a pseudonym too, but that's only for the inner enclave of the upper echelon level.
Like Reddit?
Yeah.
Like Reddit and stuff?
No, not Reddit. That would probably be a pen name, I think. I don't have an account there.
I don't know what the difference between a pen name is and a username.
I mean, it's sort of just what you make of it, but that's how I think.
I guess username, I always think it's online.
Right.
It's an account. It's associated with an online profile would be a username.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I would think about a username, because it wouldn't be like when I go to LaserQuest and have a name for my code, that's not my username. That's more like my player name.
Yeah.
But if it's an online, if it grants me access into an account, then I feel like
you're right.
a username.
You can't just have different usernames. It has to be something involved in it.
Yeah, it's it has to unlock something. A username unlocks something.
That's
what it is. A username unlocks. Pen names don't have to unlock.
We figured it out live on air.
Yeah, live on air. We'll do it live. What's that good? Do it live.
Speaking of doing it live, let's get into some viewer mail.
Oh yes, we've got viewer mail this time.
We had people write in about their usernames, how they got them, about them. Why don't you start out with?
I'll start, and the first one is, I don't know the guy's real name, but he wrote it, his name is, it doesn't matter what his real name is. Yeah. His usernames are, my hands are blank, all one word, and it's just spelt like regular. And he wrote, I really wanted a cool name after a teacher on Twitter had one, so I made this one up. He also had Mordicon Z, which was the Gridmark version of Mac Grimdark version of Mac D80, which was the shorthand of Mac Dizitoon, which was my Toontown RNG username. So it sounds like it's a mix of Toontown, his favorite teacher, and Mac D80 Grimdark, whatever that is.
Well, he was the first guy to write in. So I looked over his, and he starts out from Toontown.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of backwards. It's Toontown. Okay,
yeah, and Toontown, it started out from his randomly generated username that came from Toontown, which I think is cool. It has a very definite start. It just is given to him. And then,
I played a lot of Toontown.
Oh, you did?
I played a lot of Toontown growing up. Yeah, no, I played.
See, for me, it was one of those, I would see the commercials and it'd be ask your parents' permission before logging on, and I just wrote it off. It was they're not going to let me play Toontown. It was a little bit too radical for
my parents
my
didn't care.
Tunes.
They let me play Grand Theft Auto, so I was Toontown.
Well, I couldn't play Toontown, though. It was too
Grand Theft Auto, Toontown.
Yeah, it's a separate thing. All right, well, here's one from our good friend Marci Bone 64.
Oh, Marci.
I
follow her.
Yeah. Follow, commish. I used denim dirigible for a lot of stuff for a long time because it was catchy, especially with the alliteration. It came from a line from a song I wrote when I was in a band. I added 64 to it to sometimes make it more usernamey. Adding a number to make it more usernamey, see? And I still have 64 at the end of my current handle for most things, Marci Bone 64. I'm using my name now because I want to build up my online presence as a professional. So that's everybody's thinking about that. One thing I like about handles is making themes that carry through them. My main Tumblr was denim dirigible, so I made a casual one khaki dirigible. And then I switched to Bone Coke and made the other Bone Pepsi.
Okay.
So that's interesting too, is having different sort of brands for your usernames, but have a running theme. Which
everything's
is
on brand.
Identity. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is a very good idea, Marci Bones. Thank you for writing that in. The second piece of mail I have is from Momo Jojo 121. Again with the numbers. I don't know why you're doing it, but So she writes, people used to call me Momo in grade school, and people would often toss around Momo Jojo or Mo Jojo, the dude from the Powerpuff Girls, the little monkey. And Mo was her nickname, plus Joe was the first 2 letters of her last name, and then 121 was, I guess, her lucky number. She said, keep it consistent. Momo Jojo 121 across all the boards except professional stuff. That's when I use my name with a period in between. Numbers are a necessity when it comes to usernames. Not true. Unless it's a pun or something and would look stupid if numbers were there. Put a number in your username, Colin. So she's speaking directly to you on this one.
Did I get called out on that username?
Yeah, she got called out. You got called out for not
using...
putting a number, but we're going to go ahead and group call you out for putting a number. So.
Yeah, I don't know about the numbers here.
Based.
Numbers are, I think that's the hottest topic.
Yeah, definitely a hot button
within
issue.
This topic.
Yeah, definitely huge.
Yeah, all right, and here's our last piece of viewer mail. Dear Font Talk, not the right name of the show. My name is Koli. I should note it's in all caps. So, and I wanted to discuss my stance on numbers. My stance, don't. Nothing says I'm still holding on to my AIM username quite like keeping your nums in there. Also, I don't like not knowing the significance of the number. Is that your favorite number? An old sports jersey, perhaps? The number of times your account has been hacked because your username is so simple? There's no way to know. Lastly, there's a lot of number ego that comes with a username like that. Everyone thinks they know which numbers are best, but in truth, no one does. Except me, and that's why I do have a username with a number in it.
Oh.
Everyone is free to have the username they please, but consistency is key. It can be very trying when someone changes their username on a whim. If I go to the search bar to find Ann Smith and suddenly your username is Smithsonian Museum 69, how am I supposed to find her? Send out a memo, Ann. So,
that's a weird one because she likes numbers, but she's against numbers, but a little bit hypocritical, little bit.
She wants others to fail so that she may succeed in the number game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you for writing, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone who wrote, and hopefully we can do anher mail segment again. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I like that. It's cool hearing like the user engagement. So, yeah.
All right.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for writing in, and if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss in the future, feel free to write in again. We'll see you on the next cold ones where we crack them open.